All right, welcome in Red Sox Beat, CLNS Media, of course, the leading online provider of audio and video coverage for your 8-1 Boston Red Sox. Don't forget to follow the Twitter handle for the network for the Red Sox coverage at Red Sox CLNS. Facebook, search Red Sox Beat Podcast for the show. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe because we're going all the way to the World Series, guys. No, we're not. That's kidding. I'm joking.
Oh, that's what I said. Yeah. I predicted that.
But, hey, Red Sox are 8-1. Don't forget to follow the network itself at CLNS Media. Facebook, the same thing. And, of course, the mobile podcasting app as well. No Lauren this week, so kicking it back old school myself and Jess Thomas here. And Jess, best start in team history. 8 wins in a row after that colossal failure of an opening day down in Tampa. And this team can't be stopped. They might go 161-1, and I don't say that often. But it just feels like this team right now is doing everything right now. We'll talk about the Xander Bogaerts injury. That might be a big part of this. But this team right now, even when down, as much as they were down today, which is Sunday while we're recording this, they still win the damn game.
Yeah, I mean, me and Lauren did the show last week, and they were 2-1, and we were feeling pretty good. She predicted a better week this week than I did. I was foolish, apparently. But we were feeling pretty good about them after a couple nice wins, and now here they are, 6 wins later at 8-1, and it's been awesome. You know, a mixture of really good pitching with struggling offense, and then the offense started to pick it up, and they just decided to lose no games. Yes, I know, Marlins and the Rays. I get it. That's great. But you still have to win the games, and they won the games. That's what matters.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, like, people are like, oh, well, look who you're playing. It's like, yeah, okay, but, like, they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. They're 8-1 because they're playing trash teams. Great. But
so if they're a good team, then you got to win those games. So
good teams are supposed to just
right?
win those games and be done with it. Like, they're not supposed to lose them, and then we can talk about them losing. Like, they're a good team. If you want to be a good team and you want to be a contender, you beat up on the bad teams, and that's how you get your wins. That's if you're a 100-win, 95-win team, that's how you get those wins because you're playing half the league, which is garbage. So, especially in our division where you're playing 3 teams who aren't good. So it's like you have to beat up on teams that aren't good, and right now you are. You're 8-1, and now you're going into the Yankee series. You have Monday off. You go into the first series against the Yankees, who are 5-5. Yay! And they can't figure out how to play right now. They lost a 5-0 lead today on Sunday as we record this. So there's some question marks in the Bronx going on right now, and the Red Sox seem to be kind of pushing all the right buttons.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I don't want it to go like whisked by because of the teams they're playing. Best start in franchise history. 118 years of Red Sox baseball, and no team has ever started 8-1 in Red Sox history. That's incredible. I don't care who you're playing. You got to be ready to start the season. You got to be ready to play. They played some really cold games at home here, and they won almost all their games on the road in the warm places. I mean, they did what they're supposed to do. They were ready for the season, and they, and a terrible first game where you give up 6 runs in the 8th inning, and then to bounce back from that and still win the next 8 games, even when your offense isn't doing well. I mean, you got to give them props for doing that because there's a reason that nobody's ever gone 8-1 in Red Sox franchise history.
It's hard.
And that's because most teams aren't ready to play and win every game when they start the season.
No, especially when, you have to, especially in the Red Sox side of things, you have to deal with cold weather. You have to deal with playing up here, and it's not easy to do. And these teams have to prepare. And I remember looking into keeping in the network here, Trags himself was covering Cora's first press conference at Fenway, and the video he shared, Alex, they were talking about the weather, and Cora looked at whoever reporter was questioning it and literally gave him a wink, talking about like playing. Well, we have to play in October and November, and we have to get prepared for that now. And he gave him a little wink after. Alex Cora is very confident right now, and I love it. And I think that's a big catalyst of why they're doing this and why they're being successful. Case in point, the culture is back. Hanley feels like he's back to being himself. I think part of that is the manager because we all know he didn't get along with Farrell. A lot of them didn't. And case in point today, or the other day, it wasn't today, when JD Martinez hit his first dinger as a Red Sox player.
Saturday.
Yeah, they gave him the cold shoulder, and then Hanley came over and would not stop hugging the guy. Like, he was literally, like, bear hugging him around, and he was over there, like, cleaning him and making him all pretty, but, like, Hanley wouldn't have done that last year. I'm sorry, but, like, he just wasn't in the right mindset. None of them were. This team feels different in the sense of just, it feels like they're just playing and having fun, and they keep saying that, and I'm intrigued to see what it looks like when Pedroia comes back, as a leadership point of view, when he's in the lineup every day, but right now, what they're doing is working.
Yeah, I like that you brought up the Cora thing because, yeah, I mean, he could have whined about it. He could have said, "Oh yeah, it's cool. We've been in Florida for a month and a half," and then the first the first 6 games of the season. So we're going to whine about how we have to go from that weather to 35 degrees and 20-mile-per-hour winds. But instead, like you said, he goes, this is the weather we're going to have to play in September and October. So he totally took the positive side of it, because he easily could have just said, like, yeah, this sucks. Like, we have to play in freezing weather after being spoiled by Florida, and we're not looking forward to it. Nope, not what he did. And they didn't seem to care. They decided to pull out the wins and not worry about how, go to extra innings in the first game of the season in the cold. They're already freezing. They already played 9 innings, but they make a 9th inning comeback, score 2 runs, and then go to 12 innings and then win the game. They don't give. That's the thing I've noticed most of this team so far, is they don't give up. They've been down in 5 of the 9 games, and they keep coming back and winning. They keep going to extra innings. They'll play as many as they need. That's the biggest thing I've seen, is they don't give up.
No, and that's the thing, is that last year, a lot of these games, if they were close, they wouldn't fight. They wouldn't make that extra effort. And any coach, any team sport, all you ask is that your players don't quit, right? They play through the end of everything. You play through the whole game, because you never know. And that's what they've been doing. And like, case in point, the game on Sunday, no one thought they were going to win that game. And in the 8th inning, they put up how many runs and come back? Like, it's just this team.
6 runs.
This team right now is doing something crazy, and it's led by the guys who are supposed to be the core of this team and just didn't produce last year, right? Xander Bogaerts, we'll get to in a second, been on a tear. He's leading the way. Mookie Betts kind of seems like he's getting back to himself. Benintendi's coming around. Price pitching well. Sale pitching well. Hanley back to himself. Seems like he's hitting better because he's more involved playing first base almost every day. And I think that's a big part of it, too, for him, is just being involved in the game. He's back
Rick
to
Porcello.
Rick Porcello pitching pretty well. He settled down after that first tough inning the other day. Like, the whole pitching staff right now, except for the start of Erod, which we'll get to, has been phenomenal. And that's the thing, is this pitching staff, we touched upon it. Like, we knew the offense was going to be there, because there was no way a lot of these key players were going to be as bad as they were last year. It's everyone kind of had a down year. We know Xander wasn't healthy. We knew that offense was going to come around, plus you signed JD. The pitching was the key question mark, because, one, you don't have the bullpen to have to pitch as much as they did last year, but you don't know what you're getting in Steven Wright this year when he comes back from the suspension, if he's even in the rotation. You have Drew Pomeranz coming off an injury, hopefully this week. Erod made his first start, but the top 3 guys, Sale, Price, and Porcello, have been good.
Yep, exactly. They set a tone. They started the first 3 games. Obviously, they lost the first game, which wasn't Sale's fault.
No.
And then once the bottom of the rotation guys did their thing, then Sale, Price, and Porcello came around and did the same thing again. Sale was dominant over the Rays, and then Price pitched 7 more scoreless innings, and then Porcello retired 17 straight to end his outing against the Rays. So they keep coming in here and doing their job, and that's huge. I mean, we know pitching wins championships, and through, I believe it was 7 starts, the starters had a .86 ERA. That's insane. That was another record. Like, it was like the lowest ERA for the first 7 starts for anyone, not even just Red Sox history, but like MLB history. So this team's making records in history like every day here so far.
Yeah, and let's talk about pitching a little more. Let's talk about David Price, because this is a guy now that obviously has not been a fan favorite. We all know all the crap, and we've been a part of that. We on this show, especially myself, have not been a fan of what he's brought to the table. But he's never pitched that bad. Like, he obviously had the playoff woes, which won that first year. But like, even last year when he was kind of being a pain in the butt, and the year before that, he never pitched badly. I think last year we knew he was hurt. He never was healthy, and this year he seems healthy. He seems ready to go. He's the only starter really to be dominant. They've all been dominant, but he went 7 innings in both of his starts. 7 innings, hasn't given up a run, 5 strikeouts in each start, only 3 walks. He has control. He's not walking guys, and that's a big deal, because command was a big problem. It doesn't seem like he's trying to ticky-tack his way around. Just like the whole idea of like last year, for example, he did a lot of tried to throw the curveballs, the changeups, tried to kind of dig his way around the strike zone. He's been throwing with a lot more zip on his fastball, and he's been relying on that fastball in these first couple starts and showing, and he seems a lot more confident. And again, I don't know if that's the pitching coach and Levangie, I don't know if that's Core, I don't know if it's Price being healthy, but whatever it may be, Jess, and I don't know what you think it is, but he's the first 2 starts showing him back to the old David Price.
Yeah, well, I think the first thing, obviously, and I don't like giving this excuse for the team, but he faced the Rays twice, and it was his former team. And if you see his numbers against the Rays, they're incredible. He's had incredible career success against the Rays. His ERA is like .84 or something against the Rays in his career. So I think that's one factor, is that he faced them, and he's extremely good against them every year, not even just this year. But so I think that's one thing. So I'm definitely interested to see how he pitches against other teams. But I mean, he was pretty sharp. Like, he had 3 walks in his second start, but his first one he had none. Mm-hmm. He was economical. He pitched 76 pitches in the first game and only went 7 innings. Like, he could have pitched a complete game if Cora was doing that, but he's taken guys out earlier this year, obviously, so far. So he was economical. He didn't have any walks and 7 scoreless against, I don't care. I know they're not a good offense. I know they're not a good team, but like, it's hard to pitch 14 consecutive scoreless innings against anybody. I mean, that's an impressive thing, and he's up there in the top of the league. There's 4 pitchers in the league right now who have not given up a run. One of them is Johnny Chirinos, who was part of the bullpen days for the Rays. He has 9 scoreless innings, and some dude named Junis on Kansas City has 1 start of 7 innings. And then it's Price and Charlie Morton. Morton's on Houston. He's given up no runs in 12 innings. So Price has the most innings of those 4 guys and no runs. So he's been, one of, if not the best pitcher through 2 starts in the league, and it's impressive. So I want to see if he can continue it, but I mean, it's a great start, and he obviously seems to be in a good mindset. He's talking to the media again. He's putting that all behind him. So I think he's pretty determined to show that he can pitch here, and he's off to a damn good start. Well,
and he's got a test on Wednesday. That's
sure does.
Sale, Price, Porcello all slated to pitch against the Yankees, so you couldn't have asked for that any better of a situation going into the series.
And you're already 8-1.
Exactly, and you're already 8-1. So Sale and Severino, obviously, we know will be a good matchup, but Price has to go up against Tanaka, and he's going against a pretty good Yankees lineup. Like, yeah, the Yankees are blowing leads and they're not playing well, but they still can hit the crap out of the ball. And it's not like you play at a big park at Fenway Park either. So I'm intrigued to see what happens on Wednesday with David Price. Now, if he comes out and lights it up again, then boom, I think he's good. I think as long as he doesn't stink it up, like if he can go 5-6 innings and pitch well, I don't need him to get into the 7th and make me believe it was a good start. But it's a big test because that lineup is pretty much good 1 through 9.
Yeah, I'd say if he goes 6 innings with 6 or more innings with 2 or less runs, then I'm all in. I'm already basically all in.
Yeah, me too. I was all in before the season even started. But this is
and I haven't been at all with this guy ever. So that's a big thing for me, but he's showing me that he's willing to move on from this. So I have faith in him, and I'm pretty much on board now. But if he can go 6+ innings, 2 or less runs, and like 6 or more strikeouts against the Yankees lineup, then sign me up for the rest of the season.
No, I agree, and that's a big thing, and I think the pitching is going to be a big thing the rest of the way. And this Yankee series I'm excited for because if you can take 2 out of 3 against the Yankees and keep your train rolling, I'll be excited. Now, if they can sweep them and keep the winning streak really going, that'd be fun. But look, you got a good Yankees team coming into Fenway this week, and then you got 4 against Baltimore. So hopefully you can take 2 out of 3 and then keep this winning going as the Baltimore Orioles come in for 4 after that. But let's move to Xander. Sorry, again.
I was going to say the Yankees should be scared facing those 3 guys. I mean, Sale with a .82 ERA and 15 strikeouts, Price with 10 strikeouts and a no ERA, and Porcello with 11 strikeouts and a .284 ERA. They should be scared. They could be going 5-8 real quick here.
Seriously, they should be scared of Xander Bogaerts if he plays too.
Yes,
because Xander Bogaerts has been, and I'm so happy to say this because I love the guy. I do. You guys know I've been a fan of him forever.
Yep.
This guy, I think it really was the health last year. I think people were calling for his name last year, calling to be traded. I was starting to slip off the bandwagon a little bit, only because, we weren't really sure what it was, because we all knew he was hurt, but no one knew how bad. But clearly the hand affected him, because he claimed he was healthy. They claimed he was healthy this spring. And look what he's done. Dude has been all about RBIs, runs. He had a grand slam the other day. And it was a shot too, mind you. He launched that thing without even.
He hit it against Jake Faria, which is the guy that hit him in the hand and screwed up his whole season last year.
Oh, that's right. I didn't remember that.
Yeah. So talk about revenge.
Massive karma.
The guy screws up his hand and he can't play well for the rest of the season, and then he hits a grand slam against him. That is sweet. I was pumped after that. I was like, this is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
What a moment.
Guy already has a couple homers, hitting .371 on the season, the short season it is. 13 hits, 7 runs, and 9 RBIs already.
And 7 doubles.
Yeah, 7 doubles. Nicknamed Double Bogey. I love it. OBP of 405, already slugging 743. And like you said, already has 7 doubles in the shorts, which leads the league by a lot. But the effect that he's having on this lineup, look what happens after him. Devers has been hitting really well. It's woken up. Benintendi, Vasquez has been hitting the ball pretty well when he needed to be, especially today in that comeback. Like, Xander Bogaerts is being that middle of the lineup guy that, yeah, he might not be hitting in front of JD Martinez and Hanley Ramirez. So what? Now you have him behind Hanley Ramirez and JD Martinez. So if you don't get through them, then you got to deal with Xander, who's been on a tear, who has been their best hitter. So this guy right now, this is what we've all wanted. This is what we've all expected. And he's a big reason why this team and this offense is succeeding, because he keeps somehow getting up in big spots and he keeps coming through in the clutch.
Well, as you know, I'm a big tone setter guy, like what this team did at the beginning of the year here, and he set the tone so good. I mean, 5 doubles in the first 3 games. Like, it was incredible. Obviously, he's only hit 2 since, but like, he really set the tone of the season. Like, I'm going to be good. I'm going to drive the ball. I'm going to hit doubles. And then he hits 7 doubles, and then he hits a home run. Then he hits a grand slam. So, like, it's just, he's just been on absolute fire. And it's so important because, like you said, he's hitting 5th. So it's like you get through your good hitters, you get through Hanley and then JD, and then you got Bogaerts. Like, so if your big guns, the guys you expect to get the big hits, get out, and you still got him sitting over there in the 5th slot with a couple guys on base, he's been driving them all in. And then you get Devers after him. So it's like your lineup is like 10 times more dangerous when he's hitting, just because like that middle of the order thing, if you have guys that are average there, you kind of go downhill the rest, 5 through 9. But when you got a guy like him in your 5th slot, then it just never ends.
Well, that's the thing, too, is people haven't really thought about our lineup too much as a Red Sox fans, because you look at the Yankees, like, oh, they got all the power. But it's like, how many strikeouts Giancarlo Stanton had last year? And Aaron Judge, too.
And this year?
And this year already. Like, he already got booed out of Yankee Stadium one game. Like, the lineup we have is they're better average hitters in terms of for average. The Yankees have more power. Yes, I completely agree with that statement, and they will for the entire season. But the Red Sox 1 through 7 at least have the most consistent lineup, I think, around the league, or one of at least, because of the way they hit for average. And as the season goes, JD Martinez is gonna hit his home runs. Took a little bit of time, but he also didn't have a full spring training. So it'll take him some time, but he'll have his home runs. Hanley seems to be good to go, ready to go, locked in. Mookie Betts will hit his homers, but they're not. No, you're going to have maybe 1, maybe 2 30 home run guys on this roster, depending on what Hanley does. But you don't need more than 2, because the rest of the guys can hit for average, and if they don't get on base, then the guys behind them, like you said, Jess, behind Hanley and JD, can lock them in. And my biggest question mark is, what do they do if Jackie Bradley keeps not hitting? Like, at what point does that bottom of the lineup start to take account? Because then you do have the option of letting JD Martinez play the outfield and have some rotations and not have Jackie Bradley start. But it's a matter of, are they comfortable with him not hitting and not being consistent at the plate because of the defense?
Yeah, he's definitely the X factor. He's 3 for 26 so far, which is pretty bad. But fortunately, everybody else is hitting. I mean, what I like about the lineup, like you said, not much power. Bogaerts has 2 homers. Betts, Devers, Martinez, Nunez, and Hanley have 1, and Nunez was an inside the Parker. That's it. That's the only home runs they have. But like we were saying, RBI, Bogaerts and Devers have 9. Hanley has 8. That's all awesome. Doubles, Bogaerts with 7. Devers with 4. Nunez with 4. Betts with 3. And, some runs. Betts has gotten 8 runs. Benintendi, he's not hitting well. He's only hitting 5 for 31, but he's got 9 walks, which leads the league. So he's still getting on base, even though he's not getting hits. He's getting walks.
Hey, they already have more grand slams than last year.
They already have more grand slams than last year. So it's like when the power has come, it's been at good times, and when it hasn't, they've gotten doubles, they've gotten walks, and they've still gotten enough runs to win. And that's great. I mean, the Yankees have 55 runs right now, and the Red Sox only have 42, but the Yankees have given up 44 runs, and the Red Sox have given up 26, almost half the amount of runs. And which team's better? 3.5 games better. So, that's great. You can hit the ball all over the park. You can get your 55 runs, and you can also give up almost as many runs as you're getting and only be 500. So, yeah, it's great that their offense is good, but if their pitching doesn't, and that's what we were talking about before the year started, we said, yes, their offense is going to be good, but is their pitching going to be good? So far, not so good.
All right, Jess, before we move on, I have to ask, because this is something that I was thinking about today, and mind you, today I was in a gym coaching volleyball all day, so I don't know how this even popped into my head. But seeing the Red Sox won and seeing that alert that popped up about Xander Bogaerts, my heart sunk a little bit. I was like, oh crap, come on. Does he play against the Yankees? Does he really mean that much? Can they win without him? Because the way he's been swinging the bat, one, defensively, who's going to play shortstop, and two. Does he play at all in this Yankee series? Like, how bad? Because he slid in the dugout, and I didn't see it live because I couldn't watch the game today, like I said. But I saw the replay, and I'm like, at first it didn't look like it was going to be that bad, and then all of a sudden he was like getting helped off the field. So like, what could this be?
Yeah, I didn't see it live either. I was driving back from the Celtics game, but I saw the replay. Yeah, and it didn't look that bad. He slid in. I know it's the dugout. There's probably extraneous things sitting around.
Well, and you don't really know what happened on the stairs because you don't have an angle of that. But still,
right. Exactly. But he just kind of slid gracefully right into the dugout, and I don't see how that would mess you up that bad. And like you said, yeah, he went out on the field, and then he like went down on his knee, and then they helped him off the field. It's weird, which makes me wonder, did something like pull, or did he actually like hit his ankle on something, or did something like something sharp like jab into his ankle? That's what I'm wondering, because like just diving into the dugout like he did, it doesn't seem like it would do that much.
Yeah.
So that's weird. So I want to know what it is. They haven't told us yet. But obviously, if it's anything remotely bad, I'm sure he won't play in the series because it's just a couple days away for a couple days. So I'd say prepare to not have him if it really is something. Maybe it was just, if it was just something simple that was painful today that'll be okay tomorrow, then yeah, I'm sure he'll play. But yeah, it's going to make it hard against them, obviously, because you lose your best offensive player at this point so far. I assume Brock Holt will fill in at shortstop, because that's what he does. But, he's only had 7 at-bats, so he's had a pretty small sample size so far this year. So I don't know what you can expect from him. And, he's a decent defensive player. He made a nice play to end the game today, but he's obviously doesn't have as much range as Bogaerts has. He's a smaller guy, so you're going to lose a little on defense. You're going to lose a lot on offense. So I'd say if you were thinking sweep before with Bogaerts, you might be thinking more 2 out of 3. Or maybe the pitching will continue to be dominant since you have your 3 best pitchers, and maybe they'll win anyway. But I think it's definitely going to hurt, and especially since the offense hasn't been as good as it could be so far this year. So, yes, it's concerning. I hope he plays, but we got to figure out what it is first.
He's been a big reason why the offense has been moving, and we just talked about that, obviously. I think the Red Sox have enough bats in this lineup that if he doesn't play, I'm more concerned about the defense than I am anything. Now, do they think about moving Nunez to short for a couple games? Maybe, because I think Brock Holt is probably more comfortable at second base. That could be an option for Cora, too. I'm more concerned about what they do. One, bottom of the order, obviously, because now you put Brock Holt at the bottom of the lineup, too. But also, can the defense hold up? Because, the defense has been one of the best defenses in the league so far. Have they had an error? Do they have an error yet?
Nope, they do not have a single error.
They're the only team to do that, right?
That's incredible.
They're the only team in the league that did not have an error.
Before today, them and the Indians were the only 2 without one. I don't know if... Actually, I got the box score right here, so I can tell you.
The Indians have one?
They did not. So the Indians and Sox have 0.
Okay, so that's huge, because that wouldn't have happened last year. That'd be my concern, more defensively, because I think the lineup has enough bats in it to get through 3 games against the Yankees if the pitching does what they've been doing. And I can't imagine the pitching is just going to crash and burn. So, for me, I look at it as, he's probably not going to play. But I think he might be back for the Orioles series. I can't imagine
nothing.
I mean, it could be a stinger too. Like he could have been back in the clubhouse, walking around, jumping around. We don't know.
Right.
But that's obviously coming up for Monday, and by the time that people hear this show, we might already know what happened.
Right. As of right now, we don't know what happens. But so say he doesn't play. I mean, do you expect JD to pick it up? Because I mean, that's kind of a quick thing I want to talk about. He's only hitting 226 right now. He's struck out 11 times, which is the most in the team. Not as much as Stanton. He's got 15.
Yep.
But
it's better than Stanton.
He got his home run yesterday, but he's not hitting very well. He's left the bases loaded a couple times.
Yep.
Are you worried about him? Because I know a lot of people are irrationally freaking out after 9 games about him. But
Red Sox fans for you.
Yeah, right. So that I take it you're not worried about him. But
no.
I mean, him showing up big against the Yankees would be huge if Bogaerts doesn't play.
I think you're going to need him to show up big for sure. I think the way he swung the bat the other day when he hit that home run, because earlier in that game he could have had another one.
Right.
Because he went opposite field, and I think this guy has a tremendous amount of opposite field power, and that's where he likes to go. And you saw that swing, and on a normal, not 26-degree day, that opposite
Grand
field,
slam.
that opposite field thing, it's a grand slam. It's in the bullpen. It's if not over the bullpen. So,
Right.
And then he put that ball almost out of Fenway Park anyway for the first home run over the Monster. I'm not worried about him. We know he can hit. We've seen glimpses of it. I think part of it for him is one. He, like I said, he didn't have a full spring. He didn't play a lot in the spring when he got here because that was clearly Cora's intention, was to not have his big time guys get wasted in spring training, which I love because I think spring training is a waste of time for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to play him a lot. Look at Julian Edelman preseason football, right? Torn ACL. Didn't need to be on the field. Hopefully he doesn't play preseason at all again. But look, I'm not worried about him. Talk to me the end of May, June. If he's still not hitting, then I'll hit the panic button with everybody else. But it's April.
Exactly.
It's a couple weeks in. They're still 8-1, and right now his teammates are picking him up. And there's
The fact that they're 8-1 without him hitting much is a really good sign.
Exactly.
And it kills me that people are comparing him and Stanton, because obviously Stanton hit 2 home runs on opening day, and everyone was like, "Oh my God, he's so much better than JD." You look at their numbers now. JD's hitting 226. Stanton's hitting 200. Stanton has 3 home runs. JD has 1, but obviously 2 of his were on opening day. Stanton's got 7 RBI. JD has 4. They have the same amount of hits. They both have 7 hits. So he's hardly even doing better, and in some aspects he's doing worse. So it's hilarious. And he has more strikeouts.
The biggest thing is people need to realize that JD Martinez is a better hitter than Giancarlo Stanton.
Stanton's just a home run hitter.
But Giancarlo Stanton is a massive human being. So he hits.
JD's not that big.
JD's not a big guy.
Right.
Giancarlo Stanton is a freak of nature. So, of course, he can hit the ball almost out of Yankee Stadium. Because, 1, it's a wiffle ball field. And 2, he's a freak of nature. He's going to have more power. He's probably going to hit more home runs. And he probably would have been able to do that here at Fenway Park, of course. But JD Martinez is the better hitter. So when people say, yeah, JD's better, in a sense, he is. But Giancarlo Stanton's going to have more power. He's also going to have more strikeouts. Look at his history. Giancarlo Stanton strikes out a lot.
A ton of strikeouts last year.
But people ignore it because how far he hits. Which, I mean, granted, if you're going to give me 45 homers, sure. You can strike out as much as you want if you're going to hit it out 45 times.
Right, exactly. But it just kills me that people compare the two because they're like, "Oh, we should have gotten Stanton." Well, it's like, yeah, well, you didn't, and you got a really good player anyway, and then you're really going to compare the numbers every single game of the entire year. Like, that stuff drives me insane. Like, why are you worried about what he's doing? Yeah. Focus on your guy. Neither of them are playing very well so far. They're both going to heat up, you know that. And Stanton hits a lot of home runs, so big deal.
The one thing Stanton is good for, and this is a great segue to what I'm about to do, is fantasy baseball purposes. And if you love fantasy baseball, Jess, then you need to try my new favorite app. It's called Draft. I know you're getting on it too. It's daily fantasy baseball, but not like the other guys, of course. On Draft, you play live snake drafts with other people, just like in your season-long leagues, but it's daily fantasy, of course. So drafts last for just about one night, and you're done drafting, and that's it. No trades, no waiver wire. Just set it and forget it. And the best part is you play for cold, hard cash and get paid out the next day. Drafts start from just $1. So there's draft for everybody out there. Jess has been using it. If at least won some money there as well. I've been using it as well. Best part about it is, honestly, drafts literally super quick. It takes no time at all. You got like 30 seconds in between picks, so it's rapid. And 2, if you do draft early, like say it was a Tuesday you drafted and your competition's on Thursday, we talked about this before the show, Jess. If someone gets hurt or the game gets postponed because it's March and it's snowing, then who cares? The app will alert you, and you can swap out the player.
Yep, as long as you swap out the player before the game starts, then you're good.
Mm-hmm.
And that's an awesome thing. Yeah, it's cool because like you said with someone like Stanton, it's really hit or miss because if you get him, only one person can have him because, it's like a draft where only one player goes to one team. And is Stanton going to go 0 for 5 with 5 strikeouts one day and get you 0 points? Or is he going to hit 2 home runs like opening day and get you like 35 points? So you really got to pay attention to who the teams are playing on that particular night. And that's a big thing for it. So it's a lot of fun. And even if you have a 10-person draft, I did a 10-person one a couple days ago. The draft still took 5 minutes. It's super quick. It's super crazy.
Quick. And guys, for those of you who don't think this is working, Jess is actually not a fantasy person, a daily fantasy person. And once we got Draft on board here, he hopped on there, checked it out, and now he likes daily fantasy because of Draft. So if we can convert Jess into a daily fantasy baseball player, then anyone should be able to play. And now you can join us on Draft. Just search Draft in your app store, like Jess did, or play right from your computer on draft.com. And for a limited
Which
time
Jess also
only,
does.
which Jess also does, because he's at work on Draft all the time. And for a limited time only, check out all Red Sox beat listeners are going to get a free entry into a real money baseball draft when you make your first deposit. But you have to use my promo code, Red Sox Beat. That's right. Play a real money game for free just for using the promo code Red Sox Beat. All one word when you make your first deposit. Search Draft in your app store or go to draft.com and enter that promo code Red Sox Beat. And guys, I'm not kidding. It's actually phenomenal. It takes no time at all. And there's no salary issues, so you don't have the same player. It's great. It works so much better. But before we get out of here, 3 things, kind of 2, that we want to talk about around the league. Let's talk about the Yanks for like 2 seconds because, 1, it's just great to say they're sucking. They just are not. They're living up to their expectations. They had all this hype. They're a 500 ball club right now. They're not even in second place in the AL East. They're in third. Okay, that's a huge deal. And if the Red Sox do what they should do against them over the week, even without Xander Bogaerts in that lineup, they might fall even further. Jess, your thoughts on the Yankees, and are you concerned for Yankees fans? I'm not concerned for them. I don't care what happens. But should Yankees fans be panicking right now is really the question.
Well, I think April 8th is a little early to panic for any team, but
hey,
I mean,
Yankees fans are Yankees fans. Come on.
That's right. Kind of like Red Sox fans who freak out about nothing. So, yeah, I mean, they're not playing that well. They've blown a couple big leads. Stan's not hitting much. Judge really isn't hitting much either. Nope. He hasn't done really anything.
Sanchez only has 1 homer, and it was his first hit of the season the other day. So, like...
Yep. Gregorius had 1 big game, and then he's had several loafer games, too. So, yeah, I mean, they're not very good right now, and they had so much hype. 100 wins, 105 wins, best offense in history. And, yeah, it's, like, great. And let's see what you do on the field. They haven't done it. So, I've enjoyed it. I don't think they need to panic yet, but I've thought the Stanton signing was overrated the whole time because I said there's no way this guy's hitting, 50, 60 homers again. I don't see that happening. I still don't see that happening. And he's going to strike out because that's what he does, and that's what he's doing so far. He's got a ton of strikeouts. So I think he's a little overrated. I think people are going to figure Judge out as they did through parts of last season and seemingly so far this season. And those are your 2 quote-unquote best hitters. So I don't like their team. Maybe it's because they're Yankees. I don't know. But I'm enjoying it.
Like the Yankees.
You're right. Whoever they throw out there, screw them. So, yes, I'm enjoying it. I don't really care what their fans do. I'm sure they'll freak out no matter what. But it's nice having a lead. And if we can take 2 out of 3 from them, I'm going to be really happy. And I hope Stanton strikes out every at-bat.
All right. Shohei Ohtani, the wonderful Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, had a crappy spring training. And that's saying it nicely. Dude looked like he was going to flop out. Now, to be fair, Ichiro Suzuki also had a terrible spring training when he came over, and then just look what Ichiro did. So you never.
And is still doing.
And he's still doing somehow in Seattle, back in Seattle, which I love, by the way. One of the better stories coming into the year. And he's playing too, which is great. Yeah, it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
So Ohtani, we all weren't sure what was going to happen. 2-way player in baseball. Pitching well, hitting phenomenally. First pitch at his first at bat at Angel Stadium, croaks it into the seats. I love this guy. Like, I think it's great. It's great for baseball, 1, because I don't know about you, Jess, but I think the league needs to go more this way of let guys play multiple positions. Let a pitcher hit if he can. Like, if a pitcher has an off day and you want to let him DH, if he can croak the ball, let him croak the ball. Why not? And this guy's coming over from a foreign country. And yeah, there's some adjustment, clearly. Coming into this culture where we accept baseball as what? Pitchers and hitters. That's all it is. And he's coming in and just saying, screw that, I want to hit. And they're letting him hit. And on his off days, he's DHing, and it's like, this is phenomenal. He's had a couple homers, went 7 innings today in his start. Like, guy is the real deal, it seems like.
Yeah, we were laughing about him just a few days ago on our shows, and because he had a bad spring training, and he's been unbelievable. I mean, to come over here and do what he's done, hitting and pitching, is crazy. Today, like you said, 7 innings, 6 1/3 perfect innings, 12 strikeouts to start the game, which is incredible.
12 strikeouts.
12 strikeouts.
He's been playing all week. Like, he's been hitting the ball all week.
Yeah, and then he hit a 2-run homer off Corey Kluber, who won Cy Young last year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's got I think 3 home runs, and he threw a perfect game through 6 1/3 innings. Like, holy crap, it's incredible. I mean, I figured he'd have a tough kind of transition like someone like Daisuke had, but wow, he's not. And the fact that he's pitching and hitting at the same time, holy crap.
Yeah, I think the big thing.
Awesome.
I think the big thing is people are freaking out about this because it's not what we're used to. But people have to remember, even here in America, guys grow up hitting and pitching. Like, if you're a pitcher in high school, even some points in college, you might play another position, or if you can hit, you might DH. Like, it's only once you get to the majors, I mean, high-level college ball, you'll probably do it too. That's when it really starts to become a structure of, you should stop hitting. Like, I think this is what the game.
Focus on one of them.
Yeah, like this is. Right. I think this is really good for the game because a two-way player like this excites. Like, if you have a guy who pitch, like, could you imagine? Just imagine, Chris Sale throws 7 innings, shutout ball, a couple good strikeouts in there, gets the win. The next day, he's at the plate as the designated hitter, popping ding dongs over the Green Monster. Like, wouldn't that be exciting as a Red Sox fan?
Right? Like, you can rely on this guy for both sides of the field.
Yeah.
In different days. It's crazy. I mean, he's 2-0 with a 2.08 ERA with 18 strikeouts, and he's hitting .389 with 3 homers and 7 RBI. That's absurd.
Perfect player after a couple games. Like,
he's like the best player in the league on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, on both, and that's crazy. And like, it really throws you off. I know I'm doing a fantasy baseball league like season long too on Yahoo, and they have him in as 2 different players. Like, they have him as a pitcher, and I have him as a pitcher, which was great. And then the guy I was playing has him as a hitter, and I'm like, what the heck? I have him on my bench
because they don't know what to do with him. Because
they don't know what to do.
Does this.
Like, it's so different,
right?
And that's what's crazy. And I was like, can I just swap out? Can I put him anywhere? But look, I think it's great for the game. I really do. And I think it's only a matter of time if this works and he keeps being this successful. One, don't mess it up, Angels. Like, let him hit. Let him do whatever he wants if he's going to be able to do this. And 2, I think it's time for the league to shake it up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, if you can find guys who can do both, and maybe that'll take a little time because guys aren't doing that now. So maybe some younger guys who are coming into the league who are able to do both, they can do it. I don't think there's going to be guys all of a sudden just being like, oh yeah, I know how to hit too. I'm going to get out there and hit. I don't think that's going to happen. But if you have some younger guys who can do both, like you said, in college and high school, and then they keep doing it in the league because they actually see that it can actually be done. I mean, that's groundbreaking. And for him to come over from Japan to do this is just insane.
All right. We'll leave it there. At Red Sox CLNS is the new Twitter handle. Don't forget to follow us there. Your first place, Boston Red Sox, 8-1. Big week of baseball ahead. Do we want to do predictions real quick, or do we want to just...
Yeah, we did them last week. Let's do them.
All right, let's do them real quick. Just rattle off the schedule to me because I don't have it in front of me, and let's predict this, baby.
All right, so off day on Monday, and then 3 games against the Yankees at home, and then 4 games at home again against the Orioles. Got a 10-game homestand here that obviously started a couple days ago with the Rays. So 3 against the Yankees, like we said, 3 best pitchers, Sale, Price, Porcello going. I'm going 2 out of 3. I might have picked sweep if we knew Bogaerts was going to play, but since we don't know, and the Yankees are probably bound to win 1 game, but I feel really good about 2 out of 3 against them. What do you think?
I'm riding this winning streak, man. I'm there sweeping them. Like, this team right now cannot lose. And watch, they'll probably get swept by the Yankees. But look, when you put your best pitchers out there who haven't been touched, like Sale's been phenomenal. He hasn't got a win yet, but he should. He should have 2 wins. And then Price has been dominant. We've talked about that. And Porcello has 2 wins and been good. I don't see them losing any of these games. And then they're going to go 4 against Baltimore and probably win 3 out of 4, if not win all 4 against Baltimore because they're crap. So, like, this team has a legitimate shot to put some clearage in between them and the Yankees and them and the rest of the division real early. I think they sweep the Yankees.
Wow.
Yeah.
Talk about setting a tone.
Let's go.
11 wins in a row.
Let's go.
Yeah, okay. And then the Orioles, they're 4-6 right now. I'm going to say, since I'm not picking sweep for the Yankees, I'm going to say 3 out of 4 from the Orioles, which would give them a 5-2 week, and that would make them 13-3, which is pretty darn good. Are you going sweep too? Are you going 15 games in a row?
No, I'm not. They're gonna go.
Okay.
If it was a 3-game series, I might. But it's a 4-game series, and we always talk about it on the show. You never know what's going to happen in a 4-game series, especially against a bad team. 3 out of 4 is where I'm going with this one too. But that being said, if you're going 3 out of 4, sweeping the Yankees and starting the season with only 2 losses in that amount of games, if they're going 14-2. That's a start right there.
Talk about April.
And that's in April, and that's only halfway through April.
Right.
So and then after that you go you go to the West Coast to play the Angels, who you can probably take care of. You have the A's, the Blue Jays, and you play Tampa again in April. Like, guys, this month
be really
is
good
just,
in April.
If you can beat the Yankees, like this month is just locked up for this team to just run off a bunch of wins early.
Yeah, it's exciting. You set the tone in the beginning of the season, and if you get a big enough lead, then you can have some slumps in May and June and still be in first place. So this is a huge month. I mean, starting the season off with the Rays and the Marlins was great for their confidence, great for Cora to get wins under his belt, and now they have the confidence. So let's see if they can keep continuing it, and we'll see if they're 13-3 or 14-2 by the next recording here. But this is great. This is a lot of fun.
If you're not a baseball fan, you're dumb. Figure it out. If you are a baseball fan, enjoy this, because this is great. This is something that even last year we were good, but they weren't like this. This is an exciting team to watch. Their youth is finally producing the way we want to. JD Martinez is in the swing. Hanley's being Hanley, and I love it. And keep comparing him to Manny, because, man, I love those comparisons. Like I said, don't forget to follow us at Red Sox CLNS for us, the roundtables, all the news feeds that are coming out, the written content, full-fledged content so far on CLNS Media. It's revamped, and we love it. Don't forget to check on Facebook as well, and then go to iTunes, hit the subscribe button, so every week when we record and I post this show at 5 a.m. on Monday morning, you don't have to set your alarm if you're not already up. It's going to download right to your phone, so when you wake up, you can hear the sweet, sultry sounds of us talking about your first place Boston Red Sox. We'll be back next week, hopefully full cast, but until then, Jess Thomas there. I am Jared Scally. This has been Red Sox Beat here on CLNS Media.